What is up, guys? This is Damon from Transformed Gaming, back with the fourth and possibly final part of Ascension. We seem to be getting close to the end of the journey, so unless there's a major curveball, this might be the last video of this game, at least for a while. Might replay it in the future with some friends. I don't know. But if you have not watched the first three parts, go do that. You won't understand what's going on without them. There is a playlist on my channel, and I'm going to try to remember to link it in the descriptions of these videos. No promises, but I will try. And a recap for the people who have seen the other videos, but maybe not too recently, like today, kind of recently, and want a bit of a refresher. This is a dystopia. It's about the escort, the scholar, and the doctor going into a place called the Zone to escape the hierarchy, which is like the dystopian government or something. And there's this thing called psychosilver that burns you and is radioactive and makes your cells reform, but the zone has like healing properties, so it helps you recover from stuff faster. I don't know. It's confusing. And where we left off, they were almost to the city where there is the room which can like grant wishes, which is where they're trying to get to. It's only a mile to the city, maybe two. The room is in there. I don't know where, though. The entrance moves around sometimes. I'd ask how, but I'm not surprised at this point. Oh yeah, the zone also, like, breaks the laws of physics, apparently. Nothing is straightforward, huh? And the doctor is very injured, yes. Like, she thinks she's dying, kind of injured. I'm ready. I don't think you are. You're still seriously hurt. Then I'm ready to move slowly. I just want to keep moving. Alright, Doc, but we're going super slow this time. They pack up what they can. The doctor changes out her bandages, leaving the old blood and silver stained gauze behind. The walk is hard. They stop frequently, using what little food and water they have left. There's no turning back now. The tower blocks loom above, swarmed by foliage and green and silver-tinged nature. The city is cold. The doctor shivers. She looks pale and gaunt beneath the dappled light. The Foucault Geiger crackles in warning. The city is covered in dialectical fallout. Nowhere is safe. Her head swims as she looks around. Rusted remains of statues, stylized mosaics, disintegrating murals of heroic symbolism. Though there was nothing heroic nor real about them. Or heroic realism. Sorry. The trees snake their way through the asphalt, reclaiming it as a part of nature. A bust of the hierarchy's supposed savior stood in the center of what may once have been a town square. Half the statue's head had corroded away. The escort unholds their pistol. They aim directly at the face and fire 3 shots. The psychosilver hits, warps, and distorts the face. It melts slightly, then a lot, no longer recognizable. The sound of the gunfire echoes and echoes again through the empty city. The scholar covers his ears reflexively. The escort lowers the gun. There's an unbridled, burning hate in their eyes. For everyone he'd taken away from them. For everyone he'd killed. Everyone he'd let die. Fuck him. I'm not gonna argue with that. Fuck him. Yeah. Fuck him. I'm so glad you learned how to swear, Nerd King. The escort looks down at their gun. It sits heavy, weighing them down. They throw it away. They don't need it anymore. They all walk forward. The city itself is dead. The remains of signs adorn the buildings, houses, shops, schools, even a swimming pool and a cinema or two. All of it lost to the zone, its nature slowly consuming it, remolding it, rebuilding it. Ferrous gossypium grows in tufts across the metals. Black bunches of thorns and thistles sit in cracks in the road, glimmering with silver in their leaves. It has been weeks since I recorded a video. My voice is not used to talking like this anymore. Where once a neat row of orderly poplars stood between the highways, now they grow wild, untamed, and free. The wind rustles the leaves. For once, emptiness didn't feel hollow and gnawing. It felt calm, peaceful. The doctor staggers forward. She breathes in the delicate taste of light and silver. The counter keeps crackling, but she ignores it. For the first time in 20 years, she feels something rise in her. A stillness and comfort that has been absent since she was a child. It feels like home. Not the same home that she remembered. Not one that she had ever been to before. Home didn't have to be a place you grew up in. It just had to be a place where you made sense. She set her bag down in front of the city's large hotel building. The enormous concrete and metal structure looms above them, the skeleton of a dead giant. I'm going to have a rest. It hurts a lot. I think we're out of painkillers. Yeah, take it easy. At least your burns don't look as bad. Still pretty bad, though. I always was ugly. I guess now the outside matches, too. Hey, don't talk about yourself like that. We're still here. We're getting to the room. We've made it this far. Yeah, the next part is tricky, but I reckon we've got this. How do we know where to go from here? We should try to cover as much ground as we can. See what we spot. This is going to be another terrible idea, but there's too much radiation here to stick around for long. It feels intoxicating. I feel alive. Yeah, that's why we should be careful with it. It's great until you overdose. And that really ain't going to take long here. Let's split up. Doc, stay with one of us. You'll be able to see more from the rooftops. And they've already had their, big emotional moment. They had a minor emotional moment, but it's probably better you stay with me. I can get us out of trouble if anything shows up. You're more likely to find trouble, too. Ha! Aren't you supposed to be in too much pain to be a bitch? But seriously, let's go. We've got maybe a few hours of daylight left. Should we meet back here in an hour? Yeah, I'll come get you if you're not here. Be careful, Professor. I don't want to lose you. They part ways. Dark clouds gather above. The doctor walks slowly, the first drops of blood staining through her new bandages. The road is uneven. They need to watch where they step. The street is littered with broken concrete and remains of cars and rubble from the crumbling buildings. A whole city, reforming its morphology. Empty, yet more vibrant and full than anything outside. The vines twist and grow. flexing silver-laced tendons across the concrete bones. Its formation seeming incomplete but beautiful, always becoming, never fully being. An internal state of synthesis. The doctor laughs, flooded with a weird sense of relief. Dialectical fucking fallout. God. What a joke. Huh? I feel dumb for not seeing it before. That it's just truth? You mean all this? Like, there's knowing something and then seeing it yourself, you know? I just wanna... Yep, I was correct. It was you mean all this. Gotta stop clicking. Fuck. What the fuck even is truth? Is it just what's born from an argument? Why does everyone keep asking me shit like I'm the philosopher? Your nerd king is way better at this. Ask him. It's just so beautiful, but so disconcerting. The doctor gestures to the city, the trees, the damp, the spattering raindrops, the dilapidated metal. Is this me? Is this what I am? The result of an argument I lost with myself? The escort turns, facing the doctor. For once, they look serious. Look, everyone gets doubts when they get this close. Everyone. Even you. You can use all the fancy words you like to hide it, but you're not the first to deal with this. I'm not gonna make you do anything. This is still your decision. But I know you want this. You know you want this. And it's okay to want what you're scared of. They walk forward in silence a little longer, poking inside the abandoned buildings. Remains of homes, strewn with broken furniture and clothes and paper, all slowly changing with their doses of silver. Some apartments are empty save for decaying paint, their histories lost to time. I know you asked the both of us why we came here. Why we tried to get to the room at all. But what about you? You've been here so long, lived so much of your life in the zone. Why haven't you tried to go in? Get all your desires granted. I've thought about it. Thought about it an awful lot. They clamber up another set of concrete stairs. The doctor moves slowly, far slower than she wants to, grabbing the handrail to haul herself up. In the end, it wasn't for me. Didn't feel quite right. I can't explain it in any more fancy terms than that for you. I don't feel any shame about that. They arrive on the next landing. Books lie open where they fell, text fading away with exposure. A box of masks lies broken inside the bedroom. This almost looks like it's from next to a nuclear disaster site. Are these pictures from the area surrounding Chernobyl? I don't know enough about Chernobyl to know what it looks like these days. In the end, I don't think it could give me anything I didn't already have. I don't have a lot. But I don't want a lot either. It wasn't gonna give me anything that'd make me happy. What makes me happy is doing this. Helping other people. Helping them find their happiness. And, I don't know, maybe that's enough? The remaining rooms are empty, discarded, awaiting the zone's touch to fully creep in through the cracks in the concrete and broken windows. What the... Wait, there's a line down the side where it just abruptly turns to tree. The escort climbs up the last set of stairs and kicks the door open. They reach the back down and help pull the doctor up. They both stand on the rooftop, looking out over the remains of the city. Storm clouds gather overhead. The first few drops of rain patter. Maybe we'll get a better view from up here. Here, I've got some binoculars in the bag. Take them. The escort adjusts the lenses and peers through. Nothing immediately shows up. They keep looking. Sometimes, I guess, I just doubt myself. Whether I'm making excuses for myself with that. Whether I'm just scared too. I think I'm happy with my choices, but I don't always know. Is it okay to not always know? I think it is. I hope so. Man, there is a lot of existential stuff in this game, and it is hitting so hard. Whew. The escort puts the binoculars down, spotting nothing. They turn to the doctor, sick and bruised, but still pushing forward. Still determined. This time there's a softness to their gaze. The rain feels a little heavier. The escort's hair sticks to the side of their face. The doctor hadn't noticed how stunning they were. She'd known it, but not seen it. But now she'd seen it, she can't look away. They move a half step closer, so close the doctor can feel their warmth radiating out. A beacon in the cold of the city. I'm scared of a lot of stuff, even if I don't show it. Sometimes I'm scared of things I shouldn't be. Sometimes I'm a little scared of you. Of you doing something dumb or pushing yourself so hard you'll hurt yourself. Of how much you want things, how far you'll go. And it's okay to want what I'm scared of, right? They move closer, so close it aches. She closes her eyes. Their lips brush together. Their hands hold one another. Her heart rushes. They taste of fire and ice and silver. The moment lingers. She pulls back just a little. It feels right. For the first time, it feels right. Aww. They reunite beneath the hotel, unsuccessful. The sun sinks into the distant horizon, behind a thick bank of gray. They scout out for a second time, and then a third. Nothing. As midnight passes, they return again, exhausted. The storm clouds start to swirl overhead. The doctor's burns are fading slowly, and she's barely on her feet. But she's still moving. The scholar looks nervous. He looks at his Foucault Geiger counter, noting his radiation dose slowly tick up. The escort paces, restless, looking over the scholar's recently sketched maps with their torch. We've checked everywhere across the eastern and western perimeters. 3 of these buildings you've drawn on this map are the same building. I think it's just been moving. Or the way we see it has been moving. Or both. Damn it, sorry. I'm finding it hard to keep track. Everything keeps shifting here. I figured a map was worth a shot, though. We had to try. We still have to keep trying. The doctor grimaces. She looks at her counter. 8.7 barisieverts. Her time was slowly draining, like so much silver into the earth. Is there any pattern to where the room shows up at all? Anything either of you remember? People are very reluctant to document their stories. I've never seen anything that isn't just hearsay. It seems to show up around what you desire, you know? Or where you desire, maybe? Where? Oh. She looks over toward the scholar, her brow furrowing in worry. Do you think the hospital? Ah, the clinic. The one they took away. What was the code again? The Golf India Charlie Project. Yeah. They put it in the basement ward. There's a hospital in this city too, isn't there? Yeah. It's not easy to get to, though. I figured. They move forward, the escort taking the lead, followed by the doctor, then the scholar. The paths of the abandoned cities almost seem familiar, like echoes of the streets outside, but distorted somehow, reverberating at just a few notes above the right frequency. The rain starts to fall, heavier and harder, weighing them down. The hospital is still a few blocks away, but the radiation starts to burn. It's hard to walk. It's hard to breathe. The Foucault Geiger counters crackle, then screech. Overhead, the clouds grumble, the first rolls of thunder crashing above. The sky grows red. For a few moments, the world feels almost still. Then the hierarchy's distant sirens sound. Another blowout is here. Oh no. Oh. Fuck. Oh, this is real fucking bad. I think we might be dead. Fuck. We need to run. Now. The auroral glow turns to crimson. The world fades to nothing but shades of red. They try to sprint, but it's like running through mud. The world feels thick, heavy, barely lucid. They push forward, but the radiation catches up with them. The doctor puffs, fighting back a wave of nausea, her head spinning. The escort and scholar slow to grab her, pull her forward, but the radiation starts to hit them too. Old wounds reopen. Blood pours forth. We're not gonna make it, Doc. None of these buildings have got enough cover. We need to try. You need to try. Go without me. No, you asshole. We're in this together. Fuck, how much further? Another block. The escort is interrupted by a bolt of red-tinged lightning. It blasts down from the sky, flames burning around it as it strikes the buildings above. They duck to the side, narrowly avoiding fragments of falling concrete and fire. The rain starts to drive down like daggers into their backs. They run. They stumble. They keep running. The sirens keep screaming. Everything hurts. They round the corner, moving as fast as they can. Thunder boils up and over. Clouds burst. Lightning sparks through the air as it burns with the scent of fear and ozone. They see the old hospital building and sprint, legs faltering and buckling under them as they fall inside. They bound down the dead concrete steps, crash landing on a lower floor. The building shakes and groans, the blowout pulling at its seams. Metal bends and warps. In here! The trio force their way into a dark corridor, shoving the rusted door shut behind them. Silver leaks in and oozes through the concrete. It drips through and still lands on them. Above, the thunder booms again, closer and closer, mortar fire coming to wrest them from safety. As the counters show dosage readings more than 20. Fatal in less than a day. They look at one another, all pale, sickly, and broken. There's never been 2 blowouts in a row like this before. Goes to show I'm no fucking use. I don't know jack shit about the zone. I don't know jack shit about anything. I'm sorry. And I really mean it. I wouldn't have let us here if I knew it was gonna be like this. Can we get any further in? No, there's too much rubble. This is a dead end. We can't get to the basement. Not from here. Fuck. I'm sorry too. This was a fucking pipe dream. It wasn't worth killing us. Can I also be sorry? What for? Just in general. It's what I do. Same. I apologize so much. My mom gets mad at me for apologizing, and then I apologize. It's bad. I might as well go out doing it. And by mad, I don't mean like angry. Or like annoyed. I just use mad as a general lump in with annoyed. But I realized that it sounded bad, so I wanted to clarify. I thought that would sound funny, but it actually just makes me sad. Outside, the screaming stops. The booming explosions fade for just a moment. The voice of the siren changes. Not the hierarchy's sirens, loud and shrill and terrifying, no. The storm's siren call. Water. It starts as a whisper, a carefree, joyful moment, a call filled with nostalgia for things that never happened, wonder at a life never lived, the taste of a future always in potential. It wants them. It wants them. Don't they want it too? The scholar covers his ears but stops, standing, listening. The escort mutters something under their breath, but coughs a barking, broken laugh, almost looking relieved. The doctor stares into nothing, transfixed. They could still win. All they had to do was step out. All they had to do was believe. Old wounds tear, new wounds open. Scars rip themselves to pieces. Cells burst. Blood pours down them all, laced with silver, coated in mutation. Morphology changes. Bodies reform. The hierarchy's chiral direction was always wrong anyway. They all knew that. Why not reverse it? Isomers changing but remaining themselves. The same but different. Reborn. It's time to become new. Who will embrace annihilation? What? Two of them have to die. Oh my god. I was not ready for this. Okay. I'm gonna go with the escort and the doctor. Because this might not actually be annihilation. And they kissed and was so cute. Although the scholar and the doctor are such good friends. I'm doing a coin flip. Heads for scholar doctor, tails for doctor escort. And since I don't have a coin on hand, I'm doing it in Google. Heads. Oh, I am genuinely disappointed by that. Tails. Okay, that tells me what I really want, which is just as useful. Escort and the doctor. The escort looks back towards the door. I like that little psychological trick. flipping a coin to see which disappoints you, and they can't move anymore. They can hardly breathe. The silver got down their throat and into their lungs. Their chest feels coated and drowned in liquid metal. And yet, they stand. They walk to the door. The sirens call. The doctor follows, her arms pouring blood. So familiar. All the scars the escort ever bore reopened. An armful, another armful, a leg, their chest. This will kill us. Yeah. Let's go out with a bang. And if I die, let my last words be that god-awful fucking pun. I didn't even notice until it... I like that pun. The scholar moves to stop them, but hesitates, pausing. He stands aside, lets them both move forward. This is too important. This means too much not to do. They all understand it. The pair step forward into the rain. It pours down in thick sheets of silver. The escort looks up, gazing up into the red. Lightning cracks, fire explodes from the rooftops as it strikes. They reach out their hand. The doctor takes it, also staring into the bloody aurora. They laugh in relief and pain and anguish as the silver burns and the scars tear and blisters form and their eyes sting and everything just hurts so good. The escort turns, grips the doctor's hair in their small hands. Their eyes meet. Fire and intensity and lust and fear and yearning. The doctor relents, her mouth opening in a gasp as heat flushes between her legs. I did not need to know that. Their hearts beat faster, synchronous. Their cells falter, shifting, shimmering, a mirage. The escort grips harder, the doctor gasps. Scars tear open and ragged skin singed with silver pour blood. They both stain red, laced with silver. They can't tell whose blood it is anymore. The escort bites their lip, pauses. Is this what we want? The doctor nods a quiet yes, feigning submission, burning with want. Her lips meet the escort's skin as it burns away. Blood and lips and tongues meet. It tastes of metal, iron and nickel, and its scent hurts and blinds and mixes with the air and earth and rain. The doctor bites down, sucks greedily. She wants. This is very uncomfortable. Blood enters her mouth, slips down her gullet, pools in her stomach as the silver tears holes through it. She moves down. The escort gasps. The doctor undoes their belt, pulls down. I'm skipping. Cells burst, their spirals align, isomers to themselves, finally isomers to each other, matching in mirror symmetry. Their eyes meet, they breathe. Nope. I regret my choice. Their mouths open, lips meeting lips, tongue meeting tongue, teeth and bone in sharpness as they fall inside one another. A moment, a flash, and it's done. They moan into each other's breath, hot and sweating and desperate. The last few moments before they fade to death. Ashes blow away in the wind. Phenotype reforms in spite of genotype. Morphology changes. They collapse into one another. They die. Their legs intertwine as they lie beneath the storm, their eyes close. The bodies that would reawaken... What? Would not be the ones that lay down together? Their forms shifted and shifted again. Never truly one thing, but beautiful in the spaces between. They awake in the haze of the morning glow. They stagger through the city, silent, covered in green. The red fades as the rising sun burns away the mist. The storm had struck the hospital. The side of the building gaped open as concrete fell away from the metal struts. To the side, a free path to the basement. The room lay within reach. The answer to all their questions. The solution to their journey. They look at one another. Different, altered, twisted by the zone. The escort leads. Well, I guess this is what you guys paid me to do, right? Bring you down here. To this. It hardly seems real. After everything. He's alive! Nothing is straightforward. This feels too good to be true. Maybe it is. They all step forward. They walk down the steps. Their legs feel broken. Their clothes are saturated. The world crushes down. And yet everything feels right. Light. Free. Quiet. The final moments where everything is at peace. They stand in front of it. A single door beyond the room itself. The runoff silver water pools at their feet. It steams. This is it. The door opens. There is only space inside for one. The doctor looks at her companions. The scholar steps back. If this is it, I think the both of you have earned this. I can wait. But there's still only room for one. Only one wish can be granted. The escort looks at the doctor. Their eyes plead. They put a hand on her shoulder. I really don't think we should do this. I don't want the Ascension. It feels wrong. I do. I really do. I can't turn back now. We have other options. I don't know. No, that's not right. I do know. I know I don't want them. I've explored everything else. It feels right to me. But I don't want to do this without you. I don't want to do this alone. Tears well up in the doctor's eyes. She embraces the escort, holding them so tight. Their warmth is comforting, but reality weighs heavily down. Water. They have to choose. There's only one way forward. The escort even said she didn't want the room. I'm sorry, escort. But I have a feeling that this is what the game is about. The choice is made. There is only space for one in the room, and they all know. They all instinctively know. The doctor steps forward as the escort and scholar step aside. She turns to look at them both, gripping the iron door frame, hesitating on the threshold. I don't want to do this alone. You're strong, Doc. Regardless of how I feel about this place, if you feel this is what you gotta do, well then you gotta do it. No one should take that away from you. No one. I'm sorry. It's okay. You don't need to apologize. This is the right decision for you. And I support you. Fully and completely. This will change everything. For all of us. I hope what I want is the right thing. She steps forward through the threshold. On the other side, she walks across a metal gantry. Rusted metal lies under her feet. The grating shakes as she walks, so decayed as to barely hold her weight. The door behind her creaks closed. She is alone. She never wanted to do this alone. She had always been a coward at heart. That's why she waited so long, right? So long to actually gain the courage and dive in. She flicks on her torch. Ahead, the metal gantry extends further than she can see. The dust in the air seems to swallow the light almost entirely. She can barely see more than a few feet ahead. Then, in the distance, a shimmering light dances. Faint at first, but gradually brighter and brighter. The metal groans beneath her as she walks, cautiously spreading her weight as evenly as she can. I want it. Please, I want Ascension. I want to leave this. I want to go home. I want home when home made sense. I want home to make sense again. But the room ignores her words. She feels it, probing, needling, pushing inside her skull, latching onto desires she didn't want to say out loud. It feels her. It knows her. She approaches the end of the gantry and finally can see another door, this time ajar, shimmering blue-white light behind it. She reaches it finally and at last pushes the door open. Beneath her she sees the sparkling, shimmering reflection. The metal poles ahead that would have formed a guardrail are torn through. Buckled and rusted, it leaves a gaping hole open to the pool beneath. A lake of brilliant, terrible psycho-silver, melted through the floors, accumulating in the vat beneath. It beckons. She stares at it. The mutagenic metal reflects it all. She gazes into its surface and sees her own face. Mirrored. Distorted. She is still a coward. Her breath catches in her throat. Is this time going to be different? Is this what she really wants? At last. After everything. She takes a deep breath. She chokes on the silver vapor. She plucks up the courage. She steps forward. It coats her foot first, then soaks through her boots and onto her skin. Then it reaches her leg, her thigh. She wades in, heart pounding. It burns, it scalds, it aches, it clenches. It pulls her down bit by bit until she's down to her chest. She stares up at the ceiling. The dancing, illuminated reflections of silver ripple above. Her arms go under. Her neck goes under. It scalds and eats through her skin. She takes one last breath as the silver covers her hair, her ears, her face. The world goes dark. Metal pours into her ears and down her throat and coats her eyes and tongue and legs. Oh, this is so gross. She dissolves her skin and muscle and fascia and tendon and bone and heart and lungs and voice and soul falling away and dispersing, and everything fades. The world ends. The struggle is over. What? Oh, I just had to click. The doctor awakes, cold sweat on her brow. 4:42 in the morning. She closes her eyes again. She forces herself to stay asleep. She cracks an eye open, her restlessness not leaving her. It's 5:03. Oh, fuck. She gets out of bed, careful not to wake her partner. She hears a groan and winces. She really hates accidentally waking others up when she's like this. She leans down and whispers gently, "Stay in bed, honey. I'll be back in a sec." She goes to the bathroom and switches the light on. She glances at her naked body and strangely doesn't feel the weight of disgust. The idea of that seems so distant now. She finally feels like she makes sense. Like her body makes sense. A hand in a matching glove. She looks outside. The distant city begins to grumble to life once again. A new day, a new set of problems. But somehow it seems better than it did before. Like it had a little less hatred, even if it wasn't a lot. The doctor smiles. She can live with that. So that seems to be the end of the game. I guess I should give, post-game thoughts. I really liked it. It had a lot of, real philosophical stuff, but within this dystopian setting. The doctor not feeling comfortable in her own body and feeling a weight of disgust seeing it naked. Trans! I was just about to say trans! It sounds so trans. Ending Ascension peace. But, yeah, it was I want to say not too subtle trans allegory. But I understand if maybe some cis people didn't pick up on it. But, and I cannot say if the scholar was autistic or not, but he seemed autistic coded, which I love it, love to see it. Even if they're not, autistic, just seeing the traits normalized in media, I love to see it. And the traits weren't seen as a burden or anything. They genuinely seemed to like him. Love it. And a non-binary main character who never explicitly, they're never treated different for being non-binary. Love it. And non-binary also isn't their entire character. It wasn't even explicitly mentioned. It's just they them pronouns are used throughout. So I'm just guessing some form of non-binary. A lot of this, at least to me, seems to be handled so well and with so much love. And I love that about this. Genuinely. I'm actually tearing up a bit. I will admit, I was not a huge fan of that sex scene. Because I am extremely uncomfortable with all things sexual. Especially, publicly. Oh. Honestly, I'm probably somewhere on the asexual spectrum, but I honestly can't be bothered to look too much into myself anymore. I'm just taking things as they come. So, I also wasn't huge on the graphic depictions of gore, because I get kind of queasy, and I know other people do as well. But I understand that it's what the creators were going for, and some people like it. I'm just one that doesn't. Not gonna knock him for that. Also, the big words. I don't like big words. They hurt my brain. If there is a synonym, maybe use it for the dumb people like me. Nah, I'm just kidding. I could figure out, like, most of what they were trying to say. It wasn't too obscure. All in all, I really loved this game. Especially for a free game. Like, go play it. Like, there are multiple endings by the look of it. I'll definitely be playing this in the future. It's just gonna, like, be down the line because, oh, that was a lot. I've been recording this for, like, almost 3 hours, I want to say. Yeah. I'd love to know your thoughts down in the comments below. Please don't give me spoilers for other endings of the game, because I will be playing this again at some point. Probably on stream. Over on Twitch. Maybe go follow me there if you haven't. And maybe hit the subscribe button down below to see the VODs uploaded here. And also other videos. And other games and all that stuff. That was probably the smoothest plug I've ever done. Thank you so much for watching. This is Damon from Transformed Gaming, signing off.